What kind of advice would tell you to forget increasing your income, forget cutting expenses, forget investment tips, forget budgeting? Well, those things are good, and they are definitely the recipe to getting ahead. But in today's world, we can't neglect the fact that too many people will, will take years to get out of a hole, extricating themselves from problems they created themselves. So today, let's talk about it. If you can avoid these stupid mistakes, you will be way farther ahead than if you don't. This is just common sense, and I have a few examples. I hope one of them speaks to you. The number one wealth killer for young adults today is taking on debt that you don't have to, you shouldn't have, and most likely you'll regret. Consider that every kind of debt there is does one thing. It makes money for the lender. 100% of anything you buy on a credit card or with a student loan or a loan of any kind costs you more than if you paid cash. The reason is that interest expense is interest income to somebody. Compound interest works for you when you're earning it, and it works against you when you're paying interest. This one is treacherous. Do everything in your power to avoid debt. Build up your savings. Start small, be automatic every single paycheck. Add to your savings and never, ever, ever take on debt, even small debt. Now, I'm not talking about a home mortgage where it's on an appreciating asset and it's also providing you a place to live. Moral issues aside, and I do have moral objections, think about this. Casinos seem to be rolling in money. Las Vegas, just looking at the outside of the buildings, is one of the most extravagant, opulent, and just plain fancy places you could imagine. Gambling is a tax on those who were poor in math. This is an industry. This is a business, and their business model is simply to lure those who can be lured by temptation and greed. If you bet on the toss of a coin, you'd have a 50-50 chance of being right, and over time you should break even, and so should the person you're betting with. That's not how gambling works. They don't need to win every time. They just need to win more than they lose, and that's exactly what they do. This is not entertainment, it's a business, and the reason they make a lot of money is because they did the math. Bottom line, be smart and go with 100% certainty. You're ahead $1 on every lottery ticket you don't buy. Don't be tempted into stupidity. You're in the hole $1 on every dollar you gamble with. The question is just a matter of time. The odds are never in your favor. There will be times, such as investing, when you have to start thinking about odds. Learn to be smart. Go with the odds that are in your favor. Choose certainty when you have the choice. When you see someone in a fast car, big house, nice clothes, whatever, you have got to change your own personal programming. Do not be impressed. Do not think, oh, look, they're rich. Tell yourself that now they have less money because they spent it foolishly. This is exactly what Dave Ramsey is talking about when he says, don't spend money you don't have to buy stuff you don't need to impress people you don't know. I'm reading it even though you can see it, but it's that important. Wealth is not how much you spend, it's the opposite. It's how much you keep. Wealth isn't how much your income is, it's how much you save and how much you invest. Your money can't work for you to create an increasingly meaningful second income if you spent it. If you're a Christian, then you already know that it's important to live a life of humility. Not look humble, but actually be humble. Don't just act humble. In your heart, you have to decide that you will really, truly be humble. What does that mean? Well, it means when your friends make choices that you feel tugged to conform to, you don't. This means you're not buying a phone or going to a gym or justifying a car or whatever. Now, none of these things are bad things. God wants your heart. You know your heart, and God knows your heart. The whole message of this video is that if you start being very intentional about who you are, choose God's way. So this list has just been the tip of the iceberg. We'll stop on this one, but please hear me. Start figuring out for yourself what is a necessity and what is a luxury. For example, food is a necessity, but snacks and treats are a luxury. Housing is a necessity, but a bigger house because you got a raise is a luxury. Clothing is a necessity, but you can go broke keeping up with the cool kids. That's not who you're getting financial advice from. Minimalists have a lot of common sense on this one. You can get through a week alternating on 2 pairs of shoes during the week. If you're living at home, you should be doing two things: stacking up savings like crazy and doing something to educate yourself, build skills, improve yourself, learn to invest wisely. If you're watching this video, you're doing exactly the sort of thing on your phone or computer that will make you smarter. Choose wisely, seek wisdom. Too many people your age, people my age for that matter, spend decades struggling to get out of a hole they created. It's incredibly sad that it's self-inflicted. And even if you can blame someone else for steering you wrong, that leaves you still with a terrible problem. It's so much better to not get into trouble in the first place. There's a vast library of videos on building wealth, and it all starts with your ability to manage your own life. You can't invest if you don't save, and you can't save if you can't get out of debt. Even if you do stay out of debt, if you spend every penny you get, you're broke. If you get a raise and you spend more, you're just broke at a higher level. I hope this video has been helpful to you. I hope I've reminded you that if you're searching for a recipe for financial success, start educating yourself, just like you're doing watching videos like this one. Committing to being financially successful in the future, you'll need to live a disciplined life, and it's entirely up to you. I'd appreciate your comments to help guide my further attempts at creating useful videos. I hope you thrive and prosper. The reason I'm making these videos is because I believe I succeed by helping you succeed. Thanks for watching.